All right, thought I'd do a third video because it seemed like a good opportunity because my cat was here and I could or it's one of two cats. This is here. Look over here. Look over here. Look, look. Her name is Goblin. She's torty and she doesn't have a tail. And we don't know if she was born that way or if she lost it in battle. I'm thinking maybe she lost it in battle. But yeah, so this would be my fourth vlog. I've been watching some more vlogs now since I've been uploading them. YouTube has been suggesting vlogs to me, so I've been watching other people's, and everyone else's is really polished and produced, and I actually feel kind of like mine are all over the place, like totally unprofessional. But I don't know. I don't really like the idea of scripting these. I feel like you're not really getting to know the person if it's scripted, and then there's like, if I've edited in, like if I mention a book, if I edit in the cover of the book, or I have like, if I mention a movie, if I bring in like a clip from the movie, like I've seen people do that where they do a lot of what I guess in film they would call post-production. But I don't want to do that. I just want to just kind of talk for 10 minutes at a time, and let my mind wander, and might be completely nonsensical, might be interesting. So what can I? So I've been it's week 13. I'm teaching 3 sections of sophomore composition. So this is actually kind of a light teaching semester for me. I have a course release. I'm usually on what's called a 4-4 load. I teach 4 classes a semester, but I only teach 3 classes this whole academic year, 3 in the fall and 3 in the spring, because I'm the faculty. I'm on the faculty senate. I'm actually on the faculty senate executive committee. I'm the secretary of the faculty senate. So that means I take all the notes, and there are all these extra meetings I have to go to, and basically kind of like bureaucratic stuff. Like I won't talk about that, but yeah, my teaching has been light. Teaching sophomore writing. I teach my sophomore writing classes like an introduction to fiction, the analysis of fiction. So we spend the first third of the semester looking at just trying to make a case for close reading of texts. Like simple ideas, like there's a surface and there is a depth to a work of art. That works of art can be interpreted. Sounds obvious, like most people be like, oh, of course, there are interpretations of works of art. A lot of like 18, 19-year-olds who are not English majors, like, that frustrates them, that idea that like you go and you watch a movie and it means more than what it means. Believe it or not, that's where we are in cultural literacy, that idea takes a while, right? So I talk about, I use like things like the iceberg metaphor of literature, like, the text that you're reading is just the tip of the iceberg, but beneath the surface of the ocean are these depths. I don't spend a lot of time in the very first unit doing much more than that. We read a Chekhov story, Gooseberries. We read an Isabel Allende story, And of Clay We Are Created, which is excellent. We read like just a variety of text from different periods and different authors. We read a Raymond Carver story, Cathedral, which is another excellent story. We read Tim O'Brien, an excerpt from Tim O'Brien's Things They Carry, but the excerpt is The Lives of the Dead, which is a really good story about his childhood. But I have a lot of interdisciplinary students. Very rarely do I even have humanities students in these sophomore writing classes. So I don't just pick texts that like I'm enthusiastic about. Like, it's not just these are Jason's. It's not a mixtape of my favorite texts. It's what I think are going to be useful for a variety of people, useful and interesting for a variety of people. With that said, I would never teach something that I did not like. Like I would never teach a work of art that I thought was like flawed or horrible. I like to be more positive than that. Like I will never bring in a text in my class just to rip it apart, right? Just to critique it. I think if you're going to study something, it should be, unless you're like in criminology or in economics, you know what I mean, like whatever your subject of inquiry is, it should be eros, right? Love of, to some extent. I mean, in the humanities, like why not? At least in the art humanities, like, like obviously historians are going to study things like, totalitarianism in the late 20th century. Like obviously you don't love that, but like if you're going to study poetry, like why bring in poetry that you don't like? So the first unit was that, just getting people to understand interpretation. The second unit in this second year writing class is actually like fiction form. Plot, character, setting, narration and point of view, and symbolism or diction. Symbolism and diction. And we spend like a week on each one of those. And then they write a paper where they pick one element of fiction, and they choose a story they've read, and they've analyzed that element of it, like a plot analysis of Raymond Carver's Cathedral. And then in the last unit, it's like a research paper where I actually have them try to find, go into academic databases and find peer-reviewed articles about a story. And the general idea of the third unit is scholarship is a conversation. It's a dialogue. It's a dialogue, not just now, but over time. And I get to talk about it. Well, how research is, you ask questions, and research is answering questions. And all the time, secondary sources like it's no. But so yeah, that's what I've been doing this semester. I'm probably could talk about. I'm doing an academic conference in January. I'm going to the what are you looking at? The British Society for 18th Century Studies. They have an annual conference at Pembroke College in Cambridge. I've never been there before. First time I'm going to that. I'm doing a paper on this and more. So Horace Walpole, Selected Letters. Horace Walpole, he was, all sorts of things. He was a minister of Parliament, but he was also like he's known as the creator of Gothic fiction. He published the Castle of Otranto. He built himself a kind of faux Gothic castle, Strawberry Hill House. I teach a study abroad course on Gothic fiction, and we take students, English majors and history majors. They read Gothic fiction, and then we go to the almost like a tour of various Gothic sites. And one of the places we go to is Strawberry Hill House, which is kind of seen as like the origins of Gothic culture. Gothic culture meaning like fiction, not the Goths, where the word comes from. Gothic culture in that context comes from a completely different world. But if you're interested in Gothic fiction and Strawberry Hill House, and you know a little bit about it, I probably don't have time to go into that, but there are some cool YouTube videos on Strawberry Hill House. The Strawberry Hill House and like gardens, that's now a museum, and they have some videos about its renovation and its history and Horace Walpole. So yeah, I'm doing that conference. Later today, I have a faculty senate meeting. Not looking forward to that. 3 hours long, and I take the notes, and it's just mind-numbing conversations about accreditation and faculty promotions and changes to the university handbook, and I have to be focused the whole time and just type away. I just go in this psychological fugue, and just I don't even I just record everything. I probably put too much pressure on myself. People are always complimenting me, oh my gosh, your notes are so detailed. I don't know how you get all of that information down. And it's I don't know if this is just my weird mind, but I either get everything, I'm completely focused, or I get nothing, I'm completely distracted. So usually after these meetings, I'm brain dead. But yeah, that's what I have going on. Looking forward to the weekend, doing some grading. I was thinking about I'm reading so many books right now. I just started Gene Wolfe's The Shadow of the Torturer. His first book of the New Sun. I just got this book in the mail. Erving Goffman, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life, like social psychology. It's basically about, it's like a famous book about, it says that, everyday social intercourse presents himself and his activity to others, attempts to guide and control the impressions they form. So I thought this was interesting, like social psychology of self-presentation, like how we perform a self in public. And I guess I was thinking about that because doing these, these vlogs, and if you go back through and you watch them, see like how you come off as, it brought up this idea of Erving Goffman, and I heard people talk about this book. It's referred to a lot in scholarship I read, and I've never got around to reading it. So, and then I'm reading all sorts of things. I'm reading some book about investment. I'm reading a book about. I started reading Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance again. It's been years since I read that, and I picked that up. But yeah, well, I hope you're having a good day, and I'm at 11 minutes, so bye-bye.